Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. Time Wizard's back. So that means we are going to do just a little bit more of our progressive series. Where we left off this last time was I had just finished, and it's finally in its deck box. We finally finished going ahead and getting like my pre-ban era, pre-soul control build finished. It is now in a deck box. We're awaiting playtest. That means I needed to upgrade Exodia. So this one was a little tougher. Let's just get him out of the way. But it was not impossible. This time we did stick to a 40, just a straight 40 card build. And I do have a side deck. Now the side deck is... I don't think that's a full... That's like 11 cards. It's not really a full side deck, but it is what I think I should be having in there. So for now, let's go ahead and get you guys a deck list, and then obviously we're gonna have Celestial try to beat the crap out of this thing later. So again, pre-ban Exodia because you are playing somewhere in the time period of March 29th through, or maybe it was 28th, 29th. No, it's 29th. March 29th, anywhere through April of 2002. You don't have a ban list yet. So that means that you could play 3 of each of the Exodia pieces. You could have 3 full sets in your deck. This is going to account for the first 15 cards. This actually makes it probably a little more expensive than playing like the pre-soul control. Because like I think that one of the most expensive cards in pre-soul control is like Geki's $2, and I think these guys are like $2 each. And I'm like really thinking about it because like you can get foil Change of Hearts really cheap. You can get a lot of that stuff really cheap. I think that this makes this the more expensive deck because this was like base $30 sitting right there, and that's before anything else. I do have like a defensive option in the geez, I forgot to change him out. He's supposed to be Wall of Illusion. Okay? I meant to card share between my 2 decks because I'm waiting on the package. And that is actually supposed to be, and I'm going to dig it right out of the other deck real quick. It was not supposed to still be my boy, Giant Soldier. These are actually supposed to be Wall of Illusion. And the reason it's Wall of Illusion is the interrupt effect where it bounces them. And it's because you want to play a straight 40 card deck that you don't play both. So Wall of Illusion should be the card that's in there. And then it makes sense once you go to the other defensive 6. We're using Hane-Hanes and Man-Eater Bugs. And obviously you want to try to time your effects to waste up your opponent's resources as much as possible. Because part of what's going to be happening to you is Ultimate Offering's a thing. And Ultimate Offering states that your opponent just gets to go ahead and keep paying 500 points to put a bunch of monsters on field. So they're going to be willing to crash or battle trick through Wall of Illusion to get to you. I do apologize. That is so goofy. Moving to the spells, I am playing 3 card destruction because if you time this one well, by setting spells that are key and stuff, you can stop yourself from going through your whole deck. And it's a little tricky because in this time period, once you get to, like I said, the end of March, everybody has access to card destruction that has $10 to buy the Yugi deck. And they're buying the Yugi deck because they also want the Change of Heart, the Summon Skull, like the Last Will. Last Will ends up being like a really good card. And yeah, like card destruction, you're gonna have to pace yourself a little bit, but like it's worth it. In my build, I start with 2 Dark Holes. I don't always end there, thanks to the side deck. Same thing with Reborn. I play 2. I find that Wall of Illusion is something that will waste an opponent's time. Also, kind of a give me. You're just gonna play 3 Pots of Greed and 3 Swords, because again, this is like 9 turns that your opponent isn't gonna do anything. But you have to remember, D-Spell is in both of these starter decks, and good players are going to start playing multiple copies of D-Spell. And if it's not in their main deck, it's definitely inside, because they don't want to sit around for those 3 turns. This isn't like the initial portion of the game where we were just in Legend of Blue Eyes and that's all the cards that you had. And I mean, yes, you could set Armed Ninja and flip it to go ahead and destroy a spell card, but like that was your only option. Like other than that, you just let Swords of Revealing Light do its thing. And then you want to round the main deck out with Wabaku. Again, this is going to save all your monsters, so even if your opponent sees the Wall of Revealing Light, or sorry, not the Wall of Revealing Light, the Wall of Illusion, the trick here is like you have to... Okay, it wasn't as serious back then, but it is serious now because we're all better players than we were. If you want to get technical, a bad player will activate reinforcements on they'll say like I attack and I activate reinforcements. And you're going to go, oh, okay, well, Wabaku. I'll respond. But a smart player will attack and go response. No, damage step. And once you get to damage step, this is where Wabaku can't activate anymore. So you're going to have to try to time your Wall of Illusion, Wabakus, just in case they do have reinforcements. Because again, it is very easy to outplay a player based on this. And again, they might use their own copy of Swords of Revealing Light. They'll flip up your cards. You'll resolve some of your effects like Maneater or Hane Hane. Which again, Hane Hane doesn't really do as much as you think right now because of Ultimate Offering. But having the Wall of Illusion, they're either going to have options. They're going to either look at you and go like, no, Geki, or they'll go, no, Dark Hole, or they'll go, no, Fisher. There's a ton of answers that they'll have. And one of them is just simply waiting for you to not activate the Wabaku. And then battle phase, flipping up the reinforcements during damage step. So just be aware that that's a thing. And this is the main deck. This is actually how the main deck was supposed to be. Big mistake there. Go ahead, screenshot or whatever you guys do for the deck list. And I'll be right back with the side. Alright, we're back. So the side deck is pretty simple. Like, I'm just going to use cards that I have. Yes, I did move these. I had other Giant Soldiers of Stone in here, and I forgot that I was waiting on the order, so that's my fault. Third Dark Hole, third Monster Reborn, 3 Trap Holes. I didn't want to dedicate 3 more copies of Geki here, but you guys can absolutely do that if you guys are doing this right. I just happen to be out of copies at the minute. So for right now, like, this is as good as it's going to get. But this is basically all you could do. It wasn't like we had more cards for draw. We don't get like Jar of Greed, Reckless Greed, or any of that stuff for a little while. Upstart Goblin's not for a little while. Things like Monster Reincarnation, Pot of Avarice, even Backup Soldier, or did I already say Dark Factory Mass Reproduction? I don't think I did. None of those cards quite exist yet. So the side deck is just like every 2K monster that you used to play, whether it's Aquamador, Giant Soldier Stone, Mystical Elf, Spirit of the Harp, any additional copies of Dark Hole, again, like I said, more copies of Raigeki. And what you would do, like the tech, because you're like, well, how do you plan ahead for those games 2s and 3s? You take out a set of Exodia, guys. You go down to 2 sets. And I know that sounds counterproductive, but if you go down to 2 sets and you're still slinging things around like, Pot of Greed card destruction, you're able to put in more destructive spells for against your opponent, more trap holes for against your opponent. It just makes sense. It's actually the tactic that you would do. When I go to finalize this build later, what will end up happening is there will be extra Gekis here. It's just I don't have them in the budget right now. So that is that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have, like, comment, sub. Maybe not today, though. I mean, I did make a pretty big boo-boo by having the Giant Soldiers instead of the Walls of Illusion. That's on me. But still, I want you guys to go out and have an excellent day. So go do that, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Later.